Everyone, it's Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to episode 56 of my Metal Vaults, where I'll be exploring and showing you my favourite albums within heavy metal to thrash metal to death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it, all of that excellent stuff. And I'd like to apologise, my nose is a bit bunged up at the moment, but I'm doing okay. So, going to be talking about another absolute gem here, one that I know a lot of you veterans know, but for anyone brand new and has discovered my channel, discovered this series, welcome. As well as talking about the bands, as talking about the album, should I say first, I'll be talking about the bands. So a brief history and any releases leading up to the album in question. And from one of my favorite thrash metal bands from New York, Demolition Hammer. Finally got to see him back in 2017. That's the only time I've got to see him so far, but hopefully if they ever come to the UK, and one of the dates is here in Bristol, guarantee I'll be there, or if I'm lucky, do 2 other dates as well. Love this band, love this album, and of course, going back to anyone brand new, you love your thrash metal, here's a new one for you. Once again, Demolition Hammer, and this is their 1990 debut, Tortured Existence. Look at that artwork. Incredible. Love that logo as well. One of my favorite logos in metal. Got the back as well. This is a re-release because the 9th track there wasn't on the original release back when this was released. Unless it was, someone can confirm that. But either way, cool little track there, and it's got some live stuff there as well. So this was released on Century Media Records back in the day. This is a re-release back in 2008. And what release it is. Now let's get the booklet out so you can see the artwork again, because just hit the microphone with my case there. Apologies. So you can see the artwork, so it's not reflecting off the case. Let's try and get like there we go. And the band themselves. Steve and James are the 2 original members of the band. Just to confirm that, yes. Derek joined in 1989, and of course, get him up as well. And Vinny was their drummer from 1988 to 1993. Vinny be this one right here. He sadly passed away in 1996. And of course, I've said it before, they may be gone, but the legacy lives on in what they helped to create. And I'll get into all the songs when I start talking about it. Actually, no, I'll show you the CD first, then I'll show you the booklet. So there's the CD, a nice black CD, black logo. You can probably see it. And the name of the album in orange. Yeah, really, really cool CD. And logo inside of the case as well. Can't go wrong right there. Now, of course, there's only just lyrics in here, but there's some of them. And here as well. And get back to the band picture there. So that's the only band picture you can see. So full band picture there and individual ones right there. Which those are from because one of the songs here that is a music video. I don't think they've done any more since. But as we're exploring this band and the album, I will be looking through, of course. But let's talk about the band. Who is Demolition Hammer? Well, Demolition Hammer is a thrash metal band from New York. They formed in 1986 under a different name called Overload. Not much about that. From 86 to 87, and then 87 changed it to Demolition Hammer. So the band has been. So Demolition Hammer has been going since 1987. So the band formed under this name in 1987. Um, Split up in 1995 and reformed in 2016. And getting on to past members again, of course, they've had about 3 drummers. So the first one was John from 87 to 88. And then Vinny from 88 to 93. And then 94 to 95, they had one of my favorite drummers, Alex Marquez. As you know, was in Maverick Creation, Brutality, Resurrection. He's still in Solstice. Yeah, he's done a lot of bands. I believe he did. Oh, it wasn't a member of the band, but he did do the guest drumming for Disincarnate, which is of course James Murphy's band. Was in Cephalic Carnage. So yeah, Mr. Alex Marquez played on their third and final album. And I will mention those albums when I get to them, but obviously we're talking about this one. But of course, they released some demos that year. And of course, this was the only demo, Skull Fracturing Nightmare, to feature John on drums. I was going to say Josh then. John on drums. Obviously, James and Steve on their respective instruments. And then they had someone named Pete on there for backing vocals, who is in a band, but they're not on the Metallum site. So this demo came out in 1988, February of 1988. Independently released, 4 tracks. Not actually heard this demo, but I'll sit down because, of course, I can find quite a few of these on YouTube. Put that down a minute. Necrology was from 1989. Not sure when in 89 it came out. But you know the demo, it's got the big wide open mouth of swallowing the earth. That's got 6 tracks, and 6 of those, pretty much, yeah, all 6 are on this album that I am going to go into depth about. And of course, that's the first one to feature Vinny on the drums. Let's get a bit of this in. Yeah. So before we get to the album, Vinny did the artwork, logo, and cover concept along with Steve. So really cool there. But let's get on to the album in question. Tortured Existence. Some excellent, excellent thrash right here. And I have covered some excellent thrash on here so far. But this is an underrated gem, of course. I think as a lot of albums came out that same year of 1990, which I will get into later on here in the video. But let's crack on with the songs. How many songs do we have? So the one I'm looking at that came out in 1990, the very top one here. So looking at the other versions of it there, only has 8 songs, but the one I got has obviously a 9th track and the live songs. But let's do it by how I see it. So the first track is 44 caliber brain surgery. Kicks off very strong. Great start to the album. Very, very aggressive. You know, with the guitar work, the bass, the drumming. Steve's vocals are absolutely insane. And he has an awesome scream on the song. That got me into him, but I'll get to that in a minute. And that goes on to Neanderthal. Carrying on with very much of the guitars and the drumming and bass, everything, pretty much everything there. And then on to Gelid Remains. You know, because a lot of them do tend not. Well, obviously, 44 caliber brain surgery started right off just coming in hard and heavy. Neanderthal, much the same, but then you just get those guitars at first. Excellent solo work on on all these songs here. And then we got Crippling Ferocity. And Again, just brutal, savage, thrash tune right there. And the song that got me into this band, track number 5, which has that absolute nasty, awesome scream by Steve, infectious hospital waste, and holy, holy hell, like cracking song. That's what got me into them. Of course, that is the music video that I am on about. They did a music video for that song, and I'm gonna look up as well. Did they do any other music videos? Because I'm not entirely sure if they did, and I think that might be the only one they've done. Just looking at here, yeah, yeah, that's the only one they done. That's the only music video they've done so far as I can see. And but still, amazing song. One of my all-time favorites, along with 44 Caliber Brain Surgery and also Neanderthal. Hydrophobia, carrying on from where Infectious Hospital Waste led off. Yeah, leading off from that song. But like I said in the fifth track, Scott, that scream that Steve does is just priceless, absolutely priceless. And Hydrophobia is just carrying it on from there. Same with Parasitical Epitaph. Man, again, aggressive, nasty thrash, nasty guitars, nasty bass, nasty drumming, nasty ear-piercing vocals. And then to end it all off, Mercenary Aggression. Perfect end to an already perfect album. Of course, when I heard this album, this version of it, you have Cataclysm, a really nice little added song to the album. Really cool track right there. Of course, the live stuff as well. But like I said, I was only going to cover it up until the 8th track. And of course, cover those up. And if I just had it like this, then yeah, it'll just be this one. But of course, got the re-release right here. And I apologise, I got a bit of a bunged up nose, but I'm doing okay. Not gonna let it affect me doing this. So here we go. Oh yeah, Steve did some mixing along with Scott Burns, who produced, engineered, and also mixed the album. Robert Kempf, I think that's how it's pronounced, was in Despair, who I have mentioned before in one of my other videos on this series. Obviously, just to say a few bands that he executive produced for: Asphyx, Comic-Con, Demolition Hammer, Grave, Iced Earth, Morgoth, Samuel, Tiamat, Unleashed. Axel Harmon, obviously, same bunch of bands like Asphyx, Baphomet, Bloodbath, Coffins, Demolition Hammer, Diabolical Imperium, which I'm pretty sure I've heard, Dream Evil, Egg Guy, Grave, Iced Earth, In Flames, Cadaver Thicker, Moonspell, Morgoth, Paganizer, Rune Magic, Sacramentum, Samael, Sodom, Unleashed, and Wargasm. And to get back to the man himself, Scott Burns, obviously did some guest vocals on the 4th track on this album, being Crippling Ferocity. Obviously done a lot for a lot of stuff. So as we're talking about this album and talking about people who done it, let's talk about Mr. Scott Burns again. Obviously, he's done a lot of different stuff, a lot of different albums. So 2 albums by Atheist, that's Piece of Time and Unquestionable Presence. Hallucinations by Atrocity, so Cancer, 2 albums for them, To the Gory End and Death Shall Rise. Pretty much everything of Cannibal Corpses up until Worm Infested, Corner, Crypta, a different Crypta, not the Crypta that we know. This Crypta I'm looking at is from Puerto Rico. Mentioned Corner, Cynic, Death, Deerside, Demented Ted, Demolition Hammer, Disincarnate, Exorder, Gorguts, Loud Blast, Maverick Creation, Massacre, Master, Monstrosity, Morgoth, Napalm, Death, I think there's no different another band called Nihilist, but from Georgia, not the one that was pre-entombed. Obituary, Pestilence, Resurrection, Sadis, Sabotage, Sepultura, 6 Feet Under, Solstice, Speckman Project, Suffocation, Terrorizer, Toxic with the album Think This, and Vital Remains. And their 95 album Into Cold Darkness. So yeah, Scott's done a lot. I don't think he's done a lot of other things since, but this is just one of many. And absolutely insane stuff. If you do love your thrash, very like the very aggressive stuff. So when I think very aggressive style of thrash, I think a lot of the German stuff. So Creator, Sodom, bands like that, Destruction, Tankard as well, very aggressive stuff, but got that party element because obviously a lot of this stuff is to do with like partying and all that. But still, aggressive thrash metal right there. You're gonna love Demolition Hammer. I mean, a lot of aggressive thrashing like here in the UK, obviously over there in America, Europe, Scandinavia, all over basically. And then obviously to get back into the talk about the band, which I have done so for some of the bands on here so far. They have 2 more albums. So we got Epidemic of Violence. I think I just said that wrong. They came out in 92. And then Time Bomb, which was the one to feature Alex Marquez on the drums. And then there's a compilation in 2008 called Necrology, a complete anthology. So pretty much everything that they've released. But it all started in terms of their full lengths with this. And I know there's gonna be people that like who probably heard this back in the day thinking I didn't like it at first, but then went back to like, you know what, it's really cool. When I first heard that song Infectious Hospital Waste, I was just totally hooked. Absolutely totally hooked. Absolutely hooked. And needed to hunt this album down and I own it, and of course it's not leaving my collection. A lot of the albums that I'm going to be featuring here ain't going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And of course, just I'm gonna get to that conclusion in a minute, but yeah, look at that artwork. Look how well detailed that is. Like a lot of the bands that I've shown so far. Very, 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 very much just just solid stuff right here. And I don't think this gets talked about very much. I haven't seen very many metal YouTubers that I know talk about this yet. Maybe 1 or 2, but not a lot. This definitely needs more life because obviously this did come out, and I usually have everything ready to talk about it, but not get metal albums from 1990 up yet. But let's talk about what came out at the same time as this. So, Painkiller by Judas Priest, Cowboys from Hell by Pantera, Never Neverland by Annihilator. Anthrax released an album that year. Queensryche released an album that year. Danzig released Danzig 2 that year. Spiritual Healing by Death. Scumdogs of the Universe by Gwar Facelift by Alice in Chains. Trouble by Trouble. Slaughter in the Vatican by X-Order, who I mentioned earlier. Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. Rust in Peace by Megadeth. The Razor's Edge by AC/DC. Souls of Black by Testament. Act 3 by Death Angel. Hammerheart by Bathory. The Eye by King Diamond. Fallen Angel of Doom by Blasphemy, Cause of Death by Obituary, which I have covered. Harmony Corruption by Napalm Death. I'm going to keep going. The Key by Nocturnus. The American Way by Sacred Reich. Tales from the Twilight World by Blind Guardian. Obviously, this is on the list of albums I'm looking at. Coma of Souls by Creator. And we've got Lights Camera Revolution by Suicidal Tendencies. And to name one more, Tear by Black Sabbath. And of course, one of my favorite Swedish death metal albums, Left Hand Path by Entombed, came out that same year as well. And of course, the debut by Deicide. That's how we say it in the UK. Deicide. I know you're on about when you say the name. Man. This is definitely an album if you got that special someone in your life. Definitely. You know, like that person I know might like some thrash, you know, be it a really good friend of yours or a partner. Definitely. So find someone who loves really aggressive stuff like this. And my overall conclusion of this album, you know, I'm going to say the H word: heavy, aggressive, off the wall, in your face, thrash metal. Very, very well mixed, mastered, produced, engineered. The structures of the songs are, in my opinion, phenomenal. Same with all the other bands that I've mentioned here so far. And most importantly, it's a timeless masterpiece. Excuse me. And I've got two more on this page to do, and then I get onto the second page of this. You know, obviously, because I'm looking at my little notes here of what albums I'm doing. Of course, this is on the list. Like I said, two more on this page, and then on to the next. But I had to mention an underrated gem like this. And it's one that everyone should definitely get in their collection. Definitely so. But if you're more so into your thrash metal, then this is going to definitely be for you. If you're not really into your thrash, this will not be your cup of tea, your cup of coffee, your pint of beer. Won't be for you. But for definitely those who, even if you like your death metal, your heavy metal, your black metal, and stuff like that, and obviously you're going to love thrash metal, and you don't have this, get it. Just get it. It's just an absolute timeless masterpiece here. And an underrated gem for sure. And incredible thrash. Nasty thrash metal from New York. Demolition Hammer and Tortured Existence. Get it. Listen to it. If you have on CD, give it another play. You got on cassette, put in your cassette player or your Walkman if you like to still play Walkmans on that. You know, if you still like to play Walkmans, either just at home or when you go for a walk. Or if you got on vinyl, give it another spin. Once again, Demolition Hammer, Tortured Existence. And that is it for another episode of my Metal Vault. Definitely an album that everybody needs. And again, for mainly you hardcore fans of thrash, and you don't have this, But I know a lot you will. I know a lot you will. But for those who are starting to get into Thrash, and you probably have heard some Thrash already, and you're like, oh, what's one I haven't heard of? This one. And man, incredible, incredible stuff. Yeah, so that's it for 56. Wow, I've done 56 episodes so far of this series. It's nuts. I always do these at the end of these videos. And I'm going to give a little shout out to somebody. She's been commenting on a lot of my videos lately because I've started chatting to her back in June. And I met up with her very recently, and she has since become my girlfriend. That's Haley. You might have seen her comments on some of my videos lately. I know she'll be watching this, so if you're watching this, baby, but I know you are. Thank you for the support. I love you very much, and can't wait to see you next week. Definitely can't wait to see you. And if there's someone like that in your life and who loves this stuff, and is a metalhead in general, you love them all the way. Definitely love them all the way. Definitely. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like the video, share it around, and comment down below for anyone who's like who listened to this the first time and was instantly hooked by the band, or heard it the first time. What didn't you like about it the first time, and what made you go back to it? Or did you see these guys way before this album even existed? Did you see them on their demo days? Were you supporting them on their demo days? Still supporting them from the demo days onwards? And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with everything that I got coming up on the channel. More Metal Vault. I know I keep saying favorite underground metal releases, that'd be albums, demos, EPs, compilations, you name it. Obviously compilations will have EPs and demos I don't own. Chats coming up because I've got messaged a few people. Man, yeah, just all the same stuff really. Collection update, was gonna do one. I might actually still do it. And you know, because I've got quite a few things now. Some of them's there. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for tuning in as always. I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Keep that banner of metal well and truly high. And I'll see you all again in the next episode of my Metal Vault.